Welcome in to the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard Show. Get ready for all the scores and recaps from tonight's games. Let's throw it over to the boys from Northwest Georgia football, Lawrence Morgan and Benton Burge.
All right, everyone, welcome in here. My name is Benton Burge. I will be by myself for the time being. Somebody else may jump in later, but Lawrence is working tonight. Round one of the GHSA high school football playoffs. We have 37 teams representing the Northwest Georgia football viewing area. And the magic number in week two has dwindled down to 14. We will have 14 teams into the second round. A few of those 37 teams played each other, so that helped eliminate some folks. But we'll talk about the scores, and later on we'll go over who the next round matchups will be. All of those are already set. So without further ado, we will jump into the scores. Want to make mention as well, all of our shows are brought to you by Al Smith, Alfa Insurance. He's been with us for a couple of years now. Does everything he can for the community, not only for us, but for all the local schools around. Great job supporting local high school athletics from Al Smith. Like I mentioned, 37 teams across 8 classifications. We did have 14 advance to the second round, and we'll start in the private division. Aquinas beats Darlington 52-21. Kings Ridge narrowly escapes with a 32-28 win over North Cobb Christian. Receiving the first round buys this week were Christian Heritage and GAC. You should see those next week. 6A, Big Boys, Carrollton 58-17 over North Forsyth. Hillgrove beats North Paulding in a close one, 28-25. North Cobb over Paulding County 64-20. Villarica goes to Northgate and gets the 24-14 win. Hughes over East Paulding 45-28. Rome over Lovejoy 47-16. Down in 4A, Creekside over Dalton 70-7. Cartersville blanks Jackson 53-0. Central with a 33-21, a hard-fought victory over Tucker. We'll talk more about that one later. Cass with a 21-12 win over Mays. And ML King defeats Hiram 47-23. Harlem defeats Heritage 35-28. Oconee County goes to Northwest Woodfield and gets a 39-37 win in a shootout. Monroe area defeats Pickens 34-13. Douglas in a squeaker over Gilmer 19-15. Calhoun beats Lumpkin County 35-13. Pierce County over Ringo 45-14. North Murray over Cook 22-14. Burke County over Sonoraville 57-21. Laney over Lakeview Fort Overthorpe 48-29. Rockmart over South Atlanta 50-20. Heard County defeats East Lawrence 49-0. Social Circle hangs on to beat Haralson County 34-33. Northeast Macon defeats Fannin 41-0. Toombs County over Temple 50-6. Gordon Lee over Towers 41-10. Jasper over Gordon Central 44-13. In the rematch in the regular season, Pepperell goes 2-0 over Bremen this year, 28-21. Pepperell in a close one. Bowden over Wilcox 42-7. Mount Zion over Treatland 20-7. And in a squeaker here, a close one, Hawkinsville defeats Trine 24-21. Jake says the biggest upsets he's seen is 4-7 Berrien beat an unbeaten 10-0 Lamar County team, 7-0, and a 5-5 Walton team beating previous unbeaten McEachern. I have not saw a lot of the other state scores. I've literally had about, and I'm not even joking, about 25 tabs open, and I was watching a lot of different football. And I watched some of the Pepperell game, some of the Gordon Central game, just a few minutes of the Bowden game. The Trine game was pretty good there in the middle. It was just, Central was down, and I'm going to give Central credit because I kept looking. They were hanging in there, and I thought, man, Central might let this get away. And then they just kept battling. They kept battling, and they come back, and they took the lead, and they held the lead the rest of the way. And hard fought win for Central. I'm not sure if it was a tougher game than what they thought, or the other team just jumped out on them. But definitely a testing time. And, hey, good teams find a way to win. And Central did that. Going through all the scores again, I would say ones that stand out. Villa Rica with a slight upset win, 24-14 over Northgate. That one stands out. Rome put another good showing together. Cartersville, you kind of seen that one. We talked about the Central and Tucker being a close game. Cass with a big win. Give Cass a shout out here. 21-12 over Mays. Northwest Woodfield, I kind of figured it'd be a shootout. I think I picked Northwest, but Oconee County, beats them in a close one. Calhoun, I think they played real nice with Lumpkin late. I think it was 35-0 early, or at least in the second quarter around halftime. And, they played with their food or put the young guys in the second half. Gilmer and Douglas, Douglas 19-15 over Gilmer. Really good, hard fought, low scoring game there. The Battle of the Black and Gold, North Murray and Cook, both teams black and gold, and North Murray holds on to move on to the second round. And I believe, if my parents are correct, if everything's correct, I think North Murray will host again next week. So that's big. Rockmart doing what they do, 50-20 over South Atlanta. Kind of never was in question. Scoring late. Gordon Lee, I believe, was down 7-0 early, and then kind of put it on Towers after that. Got it going. I will make mention, it looked like, as I was skimming through, there was a pretty good delay during that Gordon Lee game. I think somebody was injured and maybe had to be took out on a stretcher. And you hate to see that. I don't even know if it was a Towers or a Gordon Lee player, but regardless, our thoughts are with that player, and hopefully it's nothing too serious and they can get back on the gridiron as soon as they can. Fannin and Northeast Macon, I think they've met before in the past. I knew Northeast would be really athletic and physical, and just kind of outplayed Fannin this year. Heard County just taking care of business. Business as usual, 49-0. Speaking of business as usual, Bowden 42-7 over Wilcox. One couple people that I've talked to, me and Lawrence talked about it off air. Bowden has a pretty tough road, in the playoffs here. Wilcox, not a bad team. I think we were in a three-way tie for second. Ended up moving down. Bowden ended up drawing them 42-7. Pretty good. I think they'll advance and play a let's see here. Looks like Washington Wilkes will be at Bowden. Interesting. I had to look up Washington Wilkes there, but Mount Zion with a win. And Fortunately, I think Mount Zion will go to Early County, which is the number one seed in that bracket, but you never know. So that's the ones that jump out to me. And we'll see if we get any comments here. I can figure out how to use this system. Let's see here. Jake says Rome might want to watch out next week. Yeah, Houston County ain't too shabby. I totally agree that. I stayed in and watched a good bit of football tonight, but I might actually have to make the trip down to Rome next week because that could be a big time battle. Out ahead said Tisdale. I'm almost certain as Ethan Tisdale had about 300 passing and 100 on the ground. Man, if you give me those stats for Tisdale, I think I'm going to give you a win. Pretty much against whoever you're playing. That's pretty darn good. No matter whoever you're playing, big time win for Herd there. Moving on to next week. Speaking of next week, like I said earlier, 14 teams moving into next week. This is probably going to be a little short and sweet tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about. Oh, Maggie says, "What do you think about the Pepperell game?" I think Pepperell. I saw a few plays there that they made that went up. They were able to hold on, and I think that it's another big win. Second time this year they're able to, win against Bremen. Excuse me. Looking here, I got written down here. Pepperell will be. Huh. Oh, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I have Pepperell at Jasper County next week. Maggie, I don't know a lot about Jasper County. We'll have to do some research on them. I'm pretty sure they'll be at Jasper County next week. I'll tell you what, we'll do our pickup show next week, I'm sure. Probably Thursday night. But I'll do you a quick little look. I'll see what I think of Jasper County, and I'll give you a quick preview of what I think might happen between the Pepperell Dragons and Jasper County. Let's see here. Okay, so Jasper they played Gordon Central tonight, which was a 42-13 victory. Jasper County sitting at 10-1 on the season, only loss coming to Lamar County. Let's see here. When we previewed that Jasper County Pepperell game, obviously Pepperell sitting at 7-4. Let's see. Pepperell scored 353 versus Jasper's 380. Pepperell's give up 265 points wise. Jasper playing pretty stingy defense. 137. They both average in the low 30s in a game, so I don't think it'll be like a wild thing. Jasper is a predominantly running team. They're going to run for 250 plus. I think on average. Chance Ross, one of their major runners, he's averaging 125 or so a game. Number 6. Garcia's averaging like 120 or more for Pepperell. So head-to-head opponents, you hadn't had any common opponents. Just looking at the stats and what I see, I think it would be a close game. At Jasper, I think you might see the line come out in small favor of Jasper, say 4 to 6 points or something like that. I'd have to predict. Again, I don't do anything. I don't make the lines, but that's what I would guess. And that That Jasper. Let's see here. Next up, Marlon Thompson. Marlon Thompson asked, did Gilmer lose? Yeah, Gilmer was on the short end of a tight game against Douglas. Douglas defeats Gilmer 19-15 tonight. Let's see. Jake Killer says Cambridge at Central next week is a rematch of the second round game last year where Cambridge got them. Cambridge is good. Yeah, I agree. They beat Calhoun at Calhoun. We all know what Calhoun did after that. Last year, I don't know. I think they're capable of winning that game. I think it's going to be interesting to see that line. They do have to go to Central. Cambridge has got a couple really elite pass catchers and skill all over. I think it'll be a heck of a matchup next week. Ricky Deem says, get your basketball shoes ready. Yeah, a lot of teams will be playing basketball. Actually, a lot already started this week. I've seen a few on an FHS network tonight as I was watching some football games. Yeah, I know, Jake. Villarica's reward for winning tonight, which, hey, I would rather win tonight and go down there and have to play you don't even want to say their whole name. Just say TCC, Thomas County Central. They're a really, really, really good team. They're going to have tons of athletes. They're going to be big, physical, fast. They got everything that you want. Loaded with Jimmys and Joes, and pretty good coaching as well. Lawrence names Thomas County Central as his favorite South Georgia team. So, I know we a lot of times pull for Northwest Georgia teams, and that's who we cover. But, Lawrence he keeps track of Thomas County Central. And there's a few, one or two Thomas County Central fans who jump on here. So we'll talk more about that game here in a second. Yeah, Haralson County game sounded like it was a good one. I watched some of it. And as I flipped over to watch some of the other games, I noticed that it went final and it was a 1-point finish. A heck of a game. All right, I'm going to go back through all the scores one more time, and then I will talk about next week's games, where your team may end up. And, again, we had 14 teams advance. And as I'm going here, we'll talk about who these teams will play next week. Aquinas over Darlington, 52-21. Kings Ridge, 32-28 over North Cobb Christian. Christian Heritage and GAC both got first-round buys in that private bracket. 6A, Carrollton over North Forsyth, 58-17. Hillgrove defeats North Paulding, 28-25. North Cobb, 64-20 over Paulding County. Villarica, 24-14 over Northgate. Langston Hughes, 45-28 over East Paulding. Rome Wolves, 47-16 over Lovejoy. Creekside, 70-7 over Dalton. Cartersville, 53-0 over Jackson. Central, 33-21 over Tucker. Cass over Mays, 21-12. ML King, 47-23 over Hiram. Harlem over Heritage Catoosa, 35-28. Oconee County, 39. Northwest Whitfield, 37. Monroe area, 34. Pickens, 13. Douglas, 19. Gilmer, 15. Calhoun, 35. Lumpkin County, 13. Pierce County, 45. Ringo, 14. North Murray, 22. Cook, 14. Burke County, 57. Sonoraville, 21. Laney over LFO, 48-29. Rockmart over South Atlanta, 50-20. Heard County over East Lawrence, 49-0. Social Circle over Haralson County, 34-33. Note here says Haralson went for too late and came up short. Hey, go for the win. Just win. Fannin County was defeated by Northeast Macon 41-0. Toombs over Temple 50-6. Gordon Lee 41-10 over Towers. Jasper 44-13 over Gordon Central. Pepperell 28-21 over Bremen. Bowden 42-7 over Wilcox. Mount Zion 20-7 over Trigland. And Hawkinsville holds on and defeats Trine 24-21. Jake says the 6A Georgia bracket was listed as the second hardest playoffs in the country. 5A was fifth. Hey, it is a gauntlet. It is a gauntlet. So let's talk about some of these teams here. The underlying teams are the advancing teams. We'll go up to the top where we have Christian Heritage and GAC getting first round buys. Christian Heritage will be on the road at Savannah Christian next week. Keep in mind, we will preview all these games next Thursday night. Lawrence should be back for that. GAC will host Landmark Christian next week. Carrollton will be at home against Harrison. Next, Villa Rica, as before mentioned, will be on the road at Thomas County Central. Also mentioned before, Houston County will be at Rome. I may be in attendance for that one. That one might draw me out of the warmth. Warner Robins will be at Cartersville. Cambridge will be on the road at Central. Cass, a big win for Cass today, as it shows 21-12 over Mays. Consolation prize, second round trip to Benedictine. Big time. Douglas Atlanta will be at Calhoun. Sumter County will be on the road at North Murray. Rockmart will host Laney next week. Laney with a big win over LFO 48-29. Social Circle with a big win tonight will be at Heard County. Should be a very interesting game there. Elbert County will be on the road at Gordon Lee. Very athletic Elbert County team at Gordon Lee will also be a very interesting game. Pepperell will be on the road at Jasper County that was able to beat Gordon Central tonight, 44-13. Bowden will be at home. They'll host Washington Wilkes. So basically, as far east as you can go, headed over to almost as far west as you can go in the state of Georgia. And then Mount Zion will be on the road at Early County. So that's next week's matchups. We will be back on Thursday night. Hopefully me and Lawrence will be here, maybe have some guests. And we'll break down all 14 of these games, and hopefully we'll have 14 advance. Not likely, but maybe. We're trying to get as many as we can, as deep as we can, so we can continue to watch and cheer on the Northwest Georgia football teams. Until next time.
We here at Northwest Georgia Football would like to thank you for watching. Please join us again soon.